Hi everybody, welcome in, welcome back. I am Lisa and this is North Star Energy Healing. Today is Friday, March 1st, 2024. I'm heading towards spring. So I did put up a reading this morning, but after I left work this afternoon, Justin came through. He is my guide, my connection with animals and to animals. He's been waiting in the wings for me to do a reading about animals for a while now. He's stepped back a couple times, and today as I was driving home, he was pretty much like, okay, it's time to do that. So for those of you that don't know, when I received my quantum healing attunements, that's when my three guides came through. Well, four. Landau the Hawk keeps telling me that. I keep saying three, but he's one too. So they were Mother Mary, Phaedra, who I've known to be one of my guides, Justin, and his hawk named Landau. And so they came through when I received that attunement, and they've been with me ever since, and they're with me for different reasons. Mother Mary usually comes through whenever I'm delivering a message or a channel message that has to do with love or religion or things like that. When they come up, she's there. She's also the main guide that's with me when I'm doing a healing. I can actually see her, like visualize her, what she's doing to the person. And then Phaedra is my main guide who protects me. She basically keeps me safe when I'm like in channel mode or what have you. She doesn't say a lot. She's there to protect me and keep me safe. And then Justin is like a medieval guy with like shoulder length wavy brown hair, maybe a little bit longer than that. And he's dressed like in leathers. I'm trying to think. It would be like Sully from Medicine Woman, if any of you know that show. That's kind of what he reminds me of. That's not exactly what he looks like, but that's how he dresses. And he has like leather arm protectors, I guess. Like archers wear those, people that shoot bow and arrow. And also Landau can perch there without hurting him. And then there's Landau, and he's a hawk. So I have two female guides and two male male energies. So the hawk is male, Justin is male, Phaedra is female, and Mother Mary is female. So as I've known in the back of my mind for a while, maybe more than a month, that Justin and Landau wanted to come through with a message about animals. So I did meditate before I did this, and I was like, okay, what are you're going to say about this and that and the other? And he's like, just get going and I'll give you the messages. So that's what happened this morning too. It's like they don't want to, sit there and discuss with me, and then I have to take notes, and I have some notes here, so we'll start there. Okay. So, the first thing that came to mind for me to do was to look up the meaning of the word Landau. It's Landau. And because I'm like, where did that name come from? Like when I asked for their names, that's what came. So it's a horse-drawn four-wheeled carriage. It is also a German and Jewish last name. There was a famous guy named Lev Landau. He was a Russian physicist. He was a teacher in the 1920s. And he's best known for his quantum field theory and astrophysics, which I found kind of, funny. He also did research on nuclear theory and solid state physics. I have no idea what all this stuff is. There were many things written about him, both good and bad. He was said to have been very shy when he was young, and then very eccentric, which sometimes people that are shy are labeled eccentric because they're not out in society. He was imprisoned in 1938, but there are no details about that. Some of these dates, it's just my father was born in 1938, okay? And then he won the Nobel Prize in 1962, the year I was born. And he won that for his theory on superfluid helium, whatever that is. And he died in 1968, the year my husband was born. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. So I don't know. I'm not saying that Landau the hawk is this guy reincarnated or it has anything to do with that. I was prompted to look some things up, so I did. And then Justin chose to be in like medieval times because he said the land is more vast and free, meaning there's more open spaces, to go. So whenever I see him, he's usually in some sort of meadow or field walking, and Landau is like flying, like sort of circling above or around him. So I asked him, what are we going to talk about? And the first thing he said was owls are very important. Bees are very important. And then he also mentioned horses, dogs, and cats. And that was when he was like, well, we could just keep doing this, or you can get going and, we can you can channel the message I have. So he wants you to know. So now I'm getting the messages from him of what he wants to say, and we're going to use some oracle cards and whatever decks that he asked me to use. But he's saying that more and more people are going to see owls, and owls are going to be more prominent. Like you may see owls during the day. Owls are just a very important bird that they carry a lot of wisdom. Obviously, they've always been depicted as wisdom, with like a graduation hat and a monocle, and stuff like that. But he says the owls are going to become very important going forward. So, when you see an owl during the day, it's pretty special because typically they're a night bird. They are a bird of prey, getting mice and snakes and things like that. So there's also that. But he's just saying that owls are going to become important. So if you see one, that's an important thing. I do have a book that has the meanings, like if you see animal and it's out of the ordinary. So if I saw an owl during the day, I would look up that meaning in the book. I think it's called Animals Speak by Stephen Farmer. So that's important. He said the bees, like this is a very, very important, it's not, bees aren't animals. I guess they're insects. I don't really know what their categorization is, but he's saying we must have more beekeepers because the bees are losing their way. And you can, this is fact, you can look it up, because of all of the cell phone waves, the towers, all these things are interfering with the bees and how they navigate. So he's saying the more and more people that can get beehives on their property, the better and better it is for your property. Number one. Number two, because there's more places in different areas where they can be. Like instead of having to travel far and wide to collect pollen or whatever they do, if all of us, not all of us, but if more of us had beehives on our properties, that would be a really good thing for the bees. And he's saying, as far as honeybees go, it's hard to distinguish bees, wasps and different things. And he's saying, please look this up and study it so you know what a honeybee looks like so you do not kill them. Like there's a lot of species of bees, and he's saying it's very, very important not to kill the honeybees especially. So I'll definitely have to do that. So because I don't really know the difference. I'm not allergic or anything, but I mean obviously I don't like bees, but I'm trying to think of what the other wasps I really don't like, and what's the other one? There's another one, but I can't think of it. So he's imploring us to please, support those people around you that have their own, that are beekeepers, that have their own hives, that make their own honey. The best way to support that is to buy local honey, not honey in your grocery store. Buy local honey, he's saying, because then you're supporting those beekeepers who can then have more bees, which is more help for our lands, for our crops, for, if we don't have bees, nothing is going to be growing. So we definitely need that. Okay, so that's what he wants to implore us about bees. Bees, certain species of bees are very friendly. They're not going to hurt us. And let's see. Actually, he's now saying, bee stings can actually be healing in some circumstances. I'm trying to think. I used to know about this. He's saying it's like inflammation related things can be healed with bee stings. Not that that would be a pleasant way to do it, but it would probably be better than taking synthetic pills. Okay. So the next animal that he brought to my attention was the horse, which it wasn't very hard to get my attention because that's my favorite animal on the planet. I have this little stone horsey, who's always right here on my table, standing on a stone heart. That's where he lives. So he's saying that horses have hearts like humans, not the make of their heart, but the soul, the heart and soul of a horse is like a human. He's saying dolphins too, but right now we're talking about horses because those are animals that people come across in their everyday life. So he wants you to, when you see horses, when you're driving in a car, walking by, whatever, if you have horses, that it's really important to send them love. They are a very evolved soul type being. They can understand us, and we can communicate with horses telepathically. Horses have been a huge part of our history, way back to Roman times, to the Wild West, to all these things. Native Americans, horses have been very important. In Western times, I guess I would call frontier pioneer days, there were some Native American tribes who valued their women based on how many horses they were worth. So horses, in some cases, were valued more than, I guess, women. I saw that actually on Hell on Wheels, was a show that we watched on Netflix. It's a great show. And I was really appalled by it. I was like, what do you mean? But then I was like, wait a minute, humans are humans. We're no better than any other mammal walking the earth. So, sorry, that was a sidebar. Okay. So horses have been very important. They have been by our sides, and they have helped us toil the fields. They have helped us when we've had to go to war. They have helped us to get the mail across, the Pony Express, all that stuff. There's lots of things coming in, and I can't really talk fast enough to get it in. Horses now a lot of times are used for therapy. There's lots of therapy stables about that people can go to. There are some places that are for veterans that are horses are just super important. And if you don't live near any of those things, then you don't know this. So Justin and Landau are asking that we please send love and respect to horses. If there's a place where you can go to volunteer to be around horses, he says it will be very, very healing. You will be very connected. Okay, now this is me talking. I met my husband at a horse rescue farm, and I can tell you that I was very connected to those horses. When I would clean the stalls, the horses would be out in the pasture, and I would actually be talking to them and sending them love as I was cleaning their stalls. That's just something that was put upon me to do while I was doing it. Just came to me one day, and I was like, oh yeah, I can clean the stall, and I could actually think about these different horses as I'm in their stalls where they spend their nights. So anything that any of us can do, to help the bees, to help the horses, would be greatly appreciated by the animal kingdom, and it will in turn help us. It will raise our frequency as well. I didn't know that this was going to be a lot of talking, but it's because the camera's just pointed at my hands, and I'm sorry about that. But I'm not really, my hair is up and I'm not really dressed to be on camera, so to speak. I'm sorry. I don't really have anything that I can, that I can put there. So the next thing is our domesticated dogs and cats that he wanted to talk about as well. Now he says there are some people who have dogs, and this would be like in the city, or in, this isn't in Alaska where sled dogs live outside. That's just what they like. That's what they do. But if you have a dog for a pet and you have no time to spend with that dog, bringing it in the house, loving it, just then you should find a home for the dog. Justin and Landau said that they are very saddened by the number of people who get a puppy and then just don't follow through with loving and caring for it through to its adult dog state. And they're saying that's a big problem right now. Too many people just get a cute puppy and then, once the puppy is a year or two old, they just basically don't do anything with it. They don't spend it. And the dogs are a species who give us unconditional love all the time. A dog doesn't care what you're wearing, what you look like. A dog only sees you heart to heart. So they're saying, remember to spay and neuter as well. There's just way too many puppies and kittens being born with no homes, and all these shelters we have. There's no need of that when people would be disciplined enough to take care of their pets and spay and neuter them. Okay, so that's a message about dogs. He's saying dogs, when you have a pet dog, a dog often will take on your emotional and physical burdens. That's why sometimes dogs will get sick and get things, because they are trying to protect your soul and your physical body from getting sick, because that's what they do. One of the things they do. And cats are a little more aloof, but cats are very intuitive. Cats are kind of like an alarm bell for when there's spirits around you or in your house. Cats will often stare off into space because they can see spirits. And this can alert you to the fact, it could be good or bad, I suppose, that you could protect yourself, and then you could know, well, I was told, on a side note, that by a psychic many years ago, that my father, who is in spirit, would like to play with my cats at night, which is why they would run around and jump around a lot, because he was there playing with them, which I thought was kind of funny. But by the same token, there are many people who are doing the same thing. They're getting kittens that are so cute, and then they don't take care of them. They don't spay them, neuter them. They just let them out and around. They get pregnant. They have more kittens. There's no place to have them. Now, if you have a farm and you have barn cats, that's fine. Just be responsible and make sure you spay and neuter. But a lot of people get a kitten and then they'll just dump it on the side of the road somewhere. We have them here. We have an acre of property, and we abut 5,500 acres of a preserve, and we know that there are many cats because they'll come around, especially in the winter, and they'll go under our porch to sleep, I guess. And those are probably cats that people decided they didn't want, so they just put them out there thinking, oh, they'll just catch mice and live. Well, come on, like domesticated cats are not that agile out in the woods. So they're really putting upon me to get the message across that with cats and dogs, please be more responsible. We wouldn't need to have all these animal shelters if we were being responsible. Okay, so that's kind of those are the animal messages that he and Landau, that Justin and Landau are bringing through to give to us about owls, bees, horses, dogs, and cats. Okay, so now he said this oracle deck, it's not all animals, but it's mostly animals, and I don't know what will come through, but he said that he wanted me to get some cards from this oracle deck. So I will. And then we'll see if there's anything else after this, because I'm just going with the flow here, people. Remember, a month or so ago, or whenever, I think it was at the end of December, maybe, that my guides were like, you need to learn to go with the flow. You just don't go in with the same plan every time. You know, follow what we guide you to do. And boy, did they. They were having me read different spreads, different cards, different decks and all these different things. Just showing me that they will get their message across no matter what. Okay, so I already know what that first card, I'm already getting the message about that first card, but I'm going to go ahead and get a few cards. It's just easier to lay the cards out and then give you the message after. Okay, Justin and Landau, what's the next card that you would like from this deck for a message to talk about? Do we need all three of these cards? Nope, he's saying no. That was me. That was me, Lisa. Okay. What about this one? Yep. Squirrel. Okay. He's saying there's going to be quite a few cards. Where are we at? 20 minutes. Okay. I try to be mindful. I don't know. Some people like long readings. Some people just like short ones. Please give it a thumbs up for me. Help my channel. If you're watching right now and you're able to just give it a thumbs up so that it doesn't end and then you forget to do it and it goes on to the next video. I really, really, really appreciate when you give it a thumbs up. It helps it get around YouTube and get to the people that need to hear it. Justin says everyone needs to hear it. Well, I don't think I can get the video around to everyone, Justin, but, you know, hopefully my subscribers and whoever's watching this video will help it get around. Okay, what else? What else do you want to talk about today, Justin and Landau? No. My favorite card in the deck. Well, not my favorite. The horse card is my favorite. The deer card is another favorite of mine. Okay, anything else? Gosh, I can hear messages in my head as I'm doing this. Anything else? Okay. Wow, that's so funny. We got dog and cat. So funny. All right, is there anything else, Justin and Landau? Any other card that you want to bring out for this reading, for this animal message today? Any other card? Okay, that's it. All right, so we're going to go through these in the order in which they came out. That's just the way that I like to do it. Hopefully I can read them because they're dark. Okay, the first card they gave us is Bison, Abundance. This card happens to show white bison or white buffalo, bison buffalo. I don't know if there's a difference. Man, I should know that. But white buffalo is a very huge Native American symbol. It's also on these cards. It's the top of the card. There's a white buffalo, an eagle, a wolf, and a bear on the deck of cards, on every card. So I was already hearing, you know, man, in their greed, look what we did to the buffalo, to the bison. Right now they have to be raised like in captivity where they can be bred and come back. I mean, there may be some wild bison and buffalo now, but when I was young, they were like a protected species. Anyway, so the message on the card is, Sacred buffalo, cloak me in your wisdom. Keep me warm through the storms of life. Fill my life with goodness. Teach me the way of gratitude and prayer. I'm always talking about gratitude and prayer. Okay. So Justin and Landau, they want us to think about how we're treating animals and not to let this happen again. Don't let that happen again. Be loving and respectful towards all living things is one of their messages. Okay, and then is squirrel, always prepared. I love this card. It's got the squirrel as well as the chickadees. I don't know if the person who made this deck was from New England, because chickadee is the main state bird. And there's lots of chickadees on the different cards. Anyway, so there's a squirrel, always prepared. You are the expert of hard work and hard play. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing to everyone. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Make a plan for the future and life will give you all you need. And they're saying, yeah, the plan for the future is to help the animals survive, help the animals grow, stop killing needlessly. Oh my gosh. I'm just the channel, okay? So, and he's saying there are people who don't like squirrels. Yes, squirrels can get into your home, but there are ways to protect your home from the squirrels getting in, with wire mesh and different things like that. Let the squirrels be out in their environment. And he's saying when squirrels get into bird feeders, they're just being squirrels. Don't shoot them with a BB gun because they're getting into the bird feeder. Figure out how you can make the bird feeder inaccessible to the squirrel or put food out for the squirrel and the birds. He's saying there's nothing wrong with that. Squirrels have every right to be here. Oh my goodness. Deer, love. This also has chickadees in it. Be gentle with yourself. You heal with the power of love. See the light in all things. Acknowledge your self-worth and grace. Yeah, deer are very graceful. Now, I love deer. Love them. They come into my yard all the time, and I just love them. Last year, we had 2 sets of twin fawns. It was so amazing. And I got a video when all 4 of the fawns were there together. It was so cute. There's no way I could ever shoot a deer. I don't even think if I was starving I could do it. I love them. I know that we have to hunt because if we don't, the population will get too big. But it's not something that I would ever do. Anyway. Okay. It is better to not eat cows and chickens raised in those big, nasty places. And so I'm not against... I can't say that I'm 100% against hunting. Me, Lisa. But I just love deer. And I just feel like there's other things we can eat, like fish. And Justin is saying, yes, he understands that in some parts of the world, and in the Wild West and in those times, they did kill, but they didn't kill constantly or kill too much. They would kill and share. So if you were having a feast, like a wedding or, some sort of celebration, that's when you would kind of kill the meat. You'd have a pig roast or you'd have whatever, it was. But in many times and cultures, they don't eat meat all the time. It's just a thing you eat for a celebration. So that's more acceptable and the animal, as long as you're respectful to that animal when you do make a kill, that's another important thing, is to thank the animal for sacrificing itself so that you can eat, or you and your family or your tribe or your town or whatever you're doing. These are things that I don't think a lot of us really think about. In the pioneer days, people saw where their food came from. They knew where their food came from, and it was much cleaner eating than we have now. We just still have to be respectful. Ladybug is good luck. You are a bright energy. Let worry go and be happy here and now. Feel good about being a loving and colorful you. You bless the world with color and good luck. So Justin is saying, yes, that's a message to ladybugs. Is there anybody who doesn't feel kind of happy when you see a ladybug? I don't know. There's just something about ladybugs. I know they're a beetle. I'm not, I do know that. But when I see a ladybug, my first thought is, oh my God, kill it, like it is when I see a spider. And Justin's pointing his finger at me right now. Spiders have their place as well, but I can't help it. There are certain bugs that I don't like. But when I see a ladybug, I just feel like, oh, that's a friend. I don't know. You'll have to comment and let me know if you feel that way too about ladybugs. But Justin is saying that the message on that card is, yes, when I'm using this deck for a regular message, it's, the person is a bright light and all that. But Justin is saying ladybugs are that. Like, you can say, thank you for coming into my world and brightening up my day and just making me smile when you see ladybugs. Oh my goodness. Dog, friend. Today, I will love without condition. What was the message that he told us about dogs, right? Or they. Landau's like, stop forgetting that I'm here. It's not just Justin, it's me too. Today, I will love without condition. My energy and enthusiasm are an inspiration. I choose to be happy. I am a protector and friend. This is exactly what Justin and Landau's message was about dogs, right? I don't know if we said the protective part. Well, protecting us is taking on our emotions and our pain and our suffering and, just wagging their tails and making us happy, right? So let's not forget about the dogs. Next was peacock, vibrancy. You were born to shine and inspire. Practice humility to avoid jealousy. Be grateful for life and more good things will come. Be true to yourself and recognize your brilliance. And as I'm reading this, Justin and Landau are saying, yeah, we know you have those peacock feathers, because I do. When my husband and I worked on that rescue farm, they had peacocks, and peacocks shed those beautiful feathers when they mate. So certain times they'd be all over the place and you could get them. And I still have my bunch of peacock feathers is actually tied together by horse tail that came out that I found on the farm. You probably think I'm weird, but anyway. So the message about peacocks is, once again, it's another bird that people have they don't understand. Humans don't understand them or why they're here or what their purpose is. People have pet peacocks just to say they have a peacock, and that's wrong. And I'm just the messenger. That's the message that he's saying. And he's saying, please, remember, this is just a beautiful bird on earth living its life in peace and happiness and, belongs here on earth. It's not a pet. It's not something. It belongs in its own habitat is what he's saying. I don't know if anybody watching has a peacock, but I hope if you are, you don't get mad at me. And then he gave us cat. They gave us cat. Independent. You are a natural healer. Your intuition is strong. You don't have to go with the crowd. Life supports you in every way. And there's 4 kitty cats on this card. And remember, he was telling us that cats are very intuitive and very connected to the spirit world. So you can notice your kitty's behavior, and that gives you clues to what's going on if there are any spirits around. And the last one that came out was grizzly bear, power. I am indestructible. I honor my intuition and go where it leads. Love and gentleness are my real strength. I never give up. I will succeed. You call on bear spirit when you need to succeed at something and you feel maybe overwhelmed. But Justin and Landau what they're saying about grizzly bears or bears in general and things like that is, these wild animals are meant to be wild. They're not meant to live in zoos or parks or any of that. But they're also not meant for us to go out and try to live with them, as we know there's a famous story about someone who went out and camped out and lived with bears and eventually was killed by one, because that's their instinct. I mean, they're not it's not a personal thing, but some things just belong in their own environment, like peacocks, bears, deer, squirrels, bison, and buffalo, right? So we have to learn to be more respectful of nature. I mean, one of the coolest things, about Africa is you can go on a safari and see animals in their own habitat. You have a guide that takes you there. I don't know if there are zoos in Africa, but there are zoos in America, certainly. And, it's not the best thing. Those animals are, Justin's saying, I can guarantee you they're not happy. So that was their message about animals. I hope you've taken something from this, and I hope it's given you something to think about with the owls. Remember, watching out for owls, and when you see one, if you see one, please look up what the message is. And then the bees, please remember, they really want us to be careful about bees, especially about honeybees, and to help any beekeepers around you to buy local honey, to help them. And if you want to, there are lots of beekeeping classes that you can go to. Adult Ed here in my town or in the next town over has a beekeeping class. And if time allows, I would love to take that. I'm not sure if I could have the time or the knowledge to have a beehive, but that's really important. And then the horse. If you're able to volunteer or go to a stable, or you have any friends who have horses, they're saying horses are a great animal to meditate with, like just to stand there and put your hand on their neck or wherever and just have some meditation time with a horse. Wow, thank you. This really, I had no idea how this was going to turn out, but it's been fun. And then, of course, then was the dogs and the cats, and we've already given our message, and he brought out the cards of the dog and the cat in this part of the reading. So, bison, abundance; squirrel, always prepared; deer, love; ladybug, luck; dog, friend; peacock, vibrancy; cat, independence; grizzly bear, power. Okay, so take what you need, call on those animal spirit guides when you need something. And, your intuition, your guides, your gut will tell you who you need to call on, or you can get a book. The Stephen Farmer book is great, and it tells you which animals can help you through certain situations. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed doing it. I know it was a little different, but please feel free to comment, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I'm very happy when you do that. I'm very happy to do what my guides ask me to do. Alrighty. So, peace and kindness every single day to every single human and every single animal. I love you all.